I'm going to do something a little different today. And thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you. Please hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment in the comments if the story resonates. And let's do this. Josie came through my comments last night and asked a question, which kind of shook me a little because I had to face what I've been through. She asked, "Do you still love your ex?" And she asked me that because I can't remember exactly how she said it, but she's going through that trauma bond too. She doesn't think she loves her ex, toxic ex, narcissistic ex, but she still feels that connection. She's still fighting the trauma bond. So I'm going to tell you all a story, and I'm going to answer that question, and I'm going to do it without being nasty. So if you're looking for drama today, it ain't happening. No dragon fire, no heat. I thought about my ex for most of my life. I met her in my early 20s. She was 16. She had lost both her foster parents within a year. She was connected to my first circle of friends. Matter of fact, she was married to and had a kid with one of my childhood best friends that I know since I was 13. The only woman he had ever been with, regardless of whatever the dude says, that I was ever jealous of, because she was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life. Stunning, happy, fierce, crazy. After a time, we had a very exciting night together. And that night stayed with me for years. Stayed with me for decades, honestly. We would hang out, and after that, and I wouldn't hit on her. Wouldn't chase her. Because she was with somebody else, for a good time. But we were always close. There was always an attraction there. There was always something there. Eventually, she broke up with her first husband, my childhood best friend, and we were able to spend times together. She would come to me for advice, have her tarot cards read. Advice that advice that you would never take. By the way, ignored them red flags early. But she was broken, just like the rest of us. She was the youngest in all the social circles I grew up with, and her energy, her charisma, her defiance, her looks, most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. I used to say silently to myself as a negative affirmation, "My heart is poison." I'd never said that out loud to anyone until I said it to her 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when all this mess started. Because before that mess, I did have a string of failed relationships, and I remember every time we spoke, aside from the few times we did sleep together, me, the atypical bad boy, looking for those toxic chicks, the one who prioritized getting laid, and dominating in that way. Every time I was with her, I always prioritized her happiness and health, what she needed. Like, I chose to prioritize friendship because I loved her that much. I cared about her that much. And it's the only woman I was ever like that with. She was a part of several memories I had throughout the years that are important to me, things you just can't erase. Connected to friends that I've loved, and some that aren't here anymore. When I finally saw her the second to last time, many years ago, she was with her future second husband. And I saw this cat. He was in love with her. I could feel it. I'm an empath. She's also psychic, so we could feel each other. And I knew that she wanted to talk, but I couldn't approach her. Because I was still going through a heartbreak at the time from someone else. And to be honest, I've never believed that I'll be with anybody or end up with anyone. And I thought that one of us should make it. One of us should have that fairy tale. One of us should have that happily ever after. And so I didn't talk to her that day. And I walked away. I didn't talk to her for 7 years. When she came back into my life, I was building my first YouTube channel. I had a modest amount of fame within the social circles that I was operating in. And I felt great about myself. I was writing books. I finally became an international author, something I'd always wanted to do, write books. It had been a tough road, but I was the strongest and most confident that I had ever been in my life. And then all of a sudden, here she comes around out of nowhere again. And, the second marriage had failed, and the guy that she had been with afterward, she had stayed with and eventually left because he wouldn't leave his wife. I'm not even pointing fingers at this point, because we've all done shit. Everybody in my social circle, we all got damaged. We always accepted dumb shit. But I decided at that point in time, I was going to be the difference. I'm going to go after the girl of my dreams. I'm going to go after this person that I've loved and thought about every single year of my life. It wasn't a year of my life that at least at one point in that year, or a night or something, that she wasn't on my mind. I always loved her deeper than I ever loved anyone else. And so I was going to go after her. And I ignored every red flag. And I white knighted. And I prioritized my fantasy over the reality of things that happened before me. And I forgave way too much. And that's because with the ex, if you're looking for, let's just say, a fun night, all right? Let's just say that. Then she's fun. If you don't care where she's going when she eventually gets up and goes out the door and goes to wherever she's going to go to next, she's fun. It's when you fall in love with her, it's when you try and be in a relationship with her, that she does what she has done consistently to every man I know of that she has ever been with. She destroys them. I used to think for a while, is it just, unresolved childhood issues that cause her to do that? Is it like borderline personality disorder? Like, what is it? But having been through everything that I've been through, I'm very confident that she is a variation of a narcissistic sociopath. Because when you try and get with her, when you try and love her, when you really do love her, and you're trying to be in that relationship with her, she will lie, cheat, manipulate, and devalue for the thrill of it. For the thrill. She doesn't have any control over her own impulses, and so she exerts pain upon others as a form of control, a form of feeling of control. She has several vices that she uses to escape through, and I'm not going to go through all of them here. But I saw this broken person, this woman I'd love forever, and I was like, I know I have the keys. I know the direction to take. I said, because I've been angry. I've escaped through some of these things. I know what to do in order to right the ship and put yourself in the right direction. But you can't help anybody but yourself. And a person doesn't want help, then they ain't going to change. And the more I tried to love her, the more she destroyed me. I took myself from a sphere of being a friend. She did try and warn me early on. She said, don't put the pussy on a pedestal. Give her credit for that. Because she knew if I went from the sphere of buddy to boyfriend or more, then I was going to be in a whole other realm where I was just going to be used, lied to, devalued, destroyed. And I was. Do I still love her? Yeah. Yeah, I do. You can't love somebody for 20 years. You can't have so many moments and memories tied in with them that, friendships and things that you don't care. But the way that I love, the way that I value the memories, the thoughts, the feelings, everything that we went through, is different in me than it is with her. Because she's, through her condition, is not capable of feeling that deeply or having that connection. And it just is what it is. And it'd probably take several years of psychotherapy, like really trying to better herself, psychotherapy, for any chance for her to come back to the light. I don't know if she has dinner. She was one woman in my life that meant more to me than anything else, that I thought about every year of my life, that I wanted more than I ever wanted anything. And the only woman I had ever consistently throughout two plus decades, what she needed more than what I needed. The answer to the situation, as I have found it, is having to love myself more than I love her. And that is what it is. My heart may be poison. I'm not going to lie to y'all about something I don't believe in. You may never find your soulmate. You may never find that relationship or that type of love that you once had that just didn't work out. You know, the most love you've ever had for somebody in your life. You may never have that. You may live the rest of your days alone. Your heart might be poisoned just like mine. But I'm going to tell you this, y'all. No matter what you've been through, how much you cared, whether it was the most in your life or not, it is much more worth loving yourself than it is loving someone who does nothing but cause you pain and will never change. I'd rather be alone for the rest of my life than live like that, because that's not life and that's not love. So be good to yourselves, because you're all you got. And be good to each other, because you never know what somebody's going through. And never again suffer that fool. And that means you too. Don't bullshit yourself. Stay observant, vigilant. Keep your boundaries strong. And make sure to run into a more positive future where you matter more than someone else trying to hurt you.